Hey, welcome to Sunday Brunch with Whiskey Dads. I'm Sailor and wait, I'm not a dad.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. You're definitely not a dad, but we got three dads here right now, Sailor. So welcome to Whiskey Dads. This is our weekly brunch conversation. We are Uncle Nearest brand ambassadors from around the U.S. First of all, everybody, happy Easter Sunday.
Happy Easter.
Time. Yep,
Easter,
absolutely.
Hallelujah.
So real quick, I am Mac Newell, the Virginia brand ambassador. I got to be honest. I am a little bit challenged when it comes to cocktails. So I'm one of those that loves to drink neat. So I do the 1856 neat pretty much all the time. So this is my go-to.
Wow.
It's pretty good go-to.
Thank you.
I'll pop in there. I'm Jay Madison, coming out of Georgia, market manager in Atlanta. Happy Easter, everybody. And drinking on, since it's Easter, I'm going to be slightly festive with the Easter Bunny.
There we go.
I got a little pineapple juice in here because, you know, the kids are around. Got a little pineapple juice and ginger beer in 1884. And it's working. I'm not going to lie. It's working for me right now.
Yummy.
I feel healthy.
It's really a health drink.
Time,
Yeah. It's
yeah. It's like a workout smoothie.
Yeah. Welcome to Whiskey Dads. Let's drink.
My name is Matt Carlson. I'm the brand ambassador in Los Angeles, or one of them actually. And I am drinking a Tennessee Smash. So it's a blueberry smash with Uncle Nearest 1884. I was very excited that I found toothpicks in my
fancy.
Nice.
So we've got 8 blueberries, 3/4 ounce lemon, 1/4 ounce maple syrup, a pinch of salt, and 2 ounces of 1884 shaken with a, I should have strained it because I don't know if you can see there's little floating blueberries in there, which there probably shouldn't be. But
those are good. No, those are good.
Yeah, is that good?
That goes back to the health aspect. That's like real healthy.
Again, it's like a smoothie, you know.
Yeah, you're getting all the tannins from the, I don't know.
Oh,
you're getting
tannins.
I don't know. You're getting something real good.
It's fruit. It's breakfast. Happy brunch.
Exactly. There you go. Well, you guys, I decided to crash into your show this Sunday, and I'm coming in with the Tennessee Italian Stallion. Hey!
Check it out. Little Rocco!
So this is, it's lazy. It's coffee. It's some Uncle Nearest 1856. It's some Amaro Montenegro and a little bit of oat milk and some stevia. Cold brew coffee. Boom. That's it.
Whoa. Wait a minute. So you have a coffee-styled cocktail? Seriously? With Uncle Nearest?
Yeah.
I have not tried that yet.
It's really good. It's super easy to make. So just do like a cup of cold brew coffee. And then however much cream or milk you usually put in it. I'm not dairy free. I eat so much cheese. I'm probably made of cheese, but for some reason milk bothers me. So I do oat milk and I like the flavor of it. So I put a little bit of oat milk in there. I try to be sugar free, so I add a little stevia, and then I add my about like a half ounce of the Amaro Montenegro, and it's super delicious.
Man, it sounds good. I mean, Matt, you sound like you already had that though, because you were nodding like, yeah.
No, it's not because it sounds delicious.
I got something for you guys since you're talking about dairy, and we're on Whiskey Dads. I have a dad joke, and I want to say it now before I forget.
Because you're a dad and you'll forget.
It happens.
And the coffee cocktail is really dope, by the way. I'm gonna ask my wife to brew us up some coffee so I can make something like that. That was delicious.
Irish coffee with 1884 would be nice too.
Would be killer. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh man.
Sorry, but your joke before you forget.
For the next show, I'm gonna bring something on like that. So thank you for reminding me. Okay, so all right, Whiskey Dad joke, right? Knock knock.
Who's there?
There.
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting cow.
Oh!
Jay,
That is definitely a dad joke.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite jokes.
Oh
There you
my
go.
God.
That's it.
Oh,
Either
you guys.
interrupting cow or impatient cow, whichever one you want to go with.
Interrupting. You did it right. It's interrupting.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
So this
Expect humor like this throughout the episode, folks.
Oh man, listen, yeah. They gotta start paying for this, brother.
So I guess this is seals the deal that I'm not a dad because I don't tell bad jokes.
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Bing, there it is.
Bad is a pejorative word. Pun heavy.
Low quality.
Groaner.
No.
I don't think there's a certain art to a dad joke.
There is. I agree.
It
Yes.
truly is.
I used to just like, my dad has that sense of humor. You know, dads do. And I remember in my 20s, like I would hear the jokes or hear the puns in my head and not say them. And then in my 30s, I just started saying them. And now that I'm a dad, I'm like, well, this is just what I'm supposed to do. So here you go.
You know, it's interesting you bring up dad jokes, though. I'm gonna tell you this: my dad wasn't necessarily the joke type of person. Like he was a lot of fun, a lot of energy, but he didn't really have a lot. Actually, let me take that back. He told a lot of good stories, but he wasn't so big with jokes. But let me tell you, he did say something that was hilarious to me for probably like 3 years after this. So here's the thing, real quick. I mean, I know we're kind of taking a sidebar on dad jokes, but I gotta get this one. So here's what's interesting. So my mom was working in the office, like top floor. This is in the middle of DC. I'm sorry, not DC. Excuse me. Gosh, this shows what my memory is. Maybe it's the Uncle Nares, but this was back in Raleigh. I think it was. It was Raleigh, North Carolina, and they were in a very high-rise building. And my mom had to pull up. They were trying to like fix up their office space, so she had to pull up this carpet, and the carpet was glued to the floor, right? So we were in there trying to scrape the glue up, but we put down this solution to kind of loosen the glue, right? So we pull up, the carpet. We're trying to scrape up this glue, and I could tell my dad is just the fumes are getting to him. And at the time, I'm probably like 8 years old. I'm a kid, and I'm in there asking, a million questions like any other 8-year-old. What do you say, Jay?
No child labor laws at all. Don't worry about it.
Oh no, come on, man. With North Carolina, no. Back in the '80s, no. So I'm in there and I'm trying to pull up glue and stuff, and this fumes are getting to me, and my dad's just like, woo, and he's like, and I was like, Dad, I was like, why do they have bars on the windows of this building? Like there's actually bars on. That's how high up we are. And he said, because if you go smelling this glue, you think you can fly. And to me, that was the most hilarious thing. I mean, I don't know why, because in my mind I was thinking they're not going to smell these fumes like any other day. I mean, why would they? So he never really answered my question. But yeah, of course they were there so people wouldn't commit suicide, I guess, or whatever. But it was great.
There you go.
Dad joke.
Sniffing glue, always good.
There you go.
Actually,
glue, fumes.
I don't know if you guys listened to John Prine, the folk country artist. He passed away this past week, which was
yes.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of the funniest songwriters I've ever heard, and you should check out his first album. But there's a song on it where he says, there's a line that's, "This topless lady has something up her sleeve." And it made me laugh out loud when I heard it, because she doesn't have sleeves, man.
Yeah.
Right, there you go. She's topless.
I love how you had to explain that. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, at first that's what I said,
sleeves.
I was thinking for a second.
That's the best part of the joke.
Yeah, it caught me. I'm thinking like,
that's the best part of the joke.
That's part of a dad joke, is if you have to explain it.
Right. I mean,
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So you guys, I can't tell any of the dad jokes my dad would tell, because he was the type of guy that told really inappropriate jokes that he shouldn't have around kids. And the older I got, the more pissed off I got about it. I don't know why, but I could just never laugh at it. All of a sudden I was pearl clutching. After hours jokes. But my grandfather was the master of but he told, and I remember asking him as an adult, about the jokes the things he used to get us saying and doing when we were kids. And he was like, oh, when you're a grandfather, it's the second level. You can do whatever you want. And so everything was fart jokes, and he'd have us running around. And my grandmother hated the word A. We're Greek, and so she would make us say the Greek word, which is prutz.
Fart?
Yes.
She hated fart?
She hated the word fart.
Wait, so what's the Greek word again?
Prutz.
Prutz.
That's
very,
yes.
It's very elegant.
So he would
had a little prutz.
Yes.
Yeah, it
yes.
sounds like a fart.
Exactly. She preferred that. Exactly. Oh my God, my grandfather.
That's what Ginny sounds like, actually.
Right now.
My baby will be eating food in her high chair and just look at you and go, but not with a mouth. So,
I love it. Let's go. Keep it going.
Wait, so Sailor, you have to finish your story. I'm sorry.
Set it up, Sailor. This is what we're gonna do.
Oh boy, here we go.
Happy Easter.
I started it. I shouldn't have started it.
But go ahead. So prutz.
I'm about to make it worse. So he would have us go on diatribes, though, because he was a man of many words, but he was also very artistic in how he spoke. So we had to take we summered in Cape Cod, and so we would drive from New York to Cape Cod, and he had us once the whole entire car ride figuring out how you could freeze your farts. and if it was plausible and if it was possible and how you could potentially do it. And as a kid, this was the most incredible moment of my life.
Oh my
Grandfather
goodness.
and my grandmother, Pete, stop it, Pete. Ah, Pete, God, this is enough. The whole car ride. It was magical.
And what were
it.
the ideas you came up with to make that happen?
Well, I was probably like 7 or 8, so it wasn't that. But we would actually, this never stopped my whole life until he passed away. We would get really scientific about it, which would be, and I would prepare this before I went to visit him. But I think it was like put your butt up to a sandwich bag and close it up real fast.
Oh.
I mean, as
Like
a
a
kid,
Ziploc
you're
bag.
not,
Oh,
you know, and
God.
then he would have these really funny, like he would do this professor voice, and he had terrible. I don't know if I should make this reference, but Bill Cosby faces. I hate to use him as a reference. I know, but I can't think. I need to find someone else that. Sorry.
No,
anyway.
well, you said it already. We got it. Bill Cosby
Sorry.
faces.
At the end of the day, the man was a comedic genius. So,
But the way he would do his face,
He
my
was.
grandfather had the same and he also taught us inappropriate songs from the Marines, like beans, magical fruit. The more you eat, the more and my grandmother was not happy. She was not happy with that. So.
That sounds really good, man.
Thanks.
It actually sounds like a real one.
I went to graduate school for that, so
Yeah.
still
You
paying
learned
off
that
my
in
loans
acting
to learn that.
classes?
I did, yeah. No.
That's skills, bro. That's
Right.
skills.
Moving on from the fart jokes,
Yep.
gentlemen. All
Wow.
right. So we recently had something super awesome, a project that at first we were none too pleased about. And I don't know if you have this background information, Mac, if you were on that first call. So Fawn asked Haley and I to poll the teams and see if we could pull together this dance challenge idea she had.
Yeah.
And I think it was pretty much a resounding nobody wants to dance. And then I had to remind everybody, well, we're getting paid right now. And all of a sudden Nick Griffith was like, yeah, okay, yep, I'll do it. Okay, sure. Yeah, I'll dance. I'll dance for a paycheck.
But it's funny you say that, because I think a lot of people at the time were thinking, oh my gosh, more so people are going to see me dance.
Yes.
Not more so, I think, do I want to dance?
Yeah.
It was like, people are going to see me dance. It's going to feel weird because you're dancing in front of a camera. It's not like we're dancing together.
Right.
Yeah,
absolutely. But fast forward a couple weeks and everyone started. So we were asked to dance to a specific song that Fawn's sister put together, right? And it is clips of Motown songs, and everybody had to dance. And then we were encouraged to bring our families into it. And then we had to put it in a Dropbox because Mac was going to edit it all together as a video. So we all had access to this Dropbox. And so we could watch each other's videos, and some were smarter than others and watched them to get ideas. Me,
Jay.
I threw it together so fast because I've got so much going on. And then had to do it a second time because
Sarah didn't follow my tutorial.
I did
Sarah
not
didn't even look at my tutorial.
Not to fall. Not to fall.
Haley had us in that portrait mode thing, like drummed into our heads at that time. And I remember saying to Robin, it's got to be portrait mode. Yeah, I was wrong. So
I will say this: if you have a child under 1, you do it in one take.
Yeah.
So I would say all the best ideas in that video are my wife's, as most of the best ideas I have for my wife's, as you guys probably can attest to as well.
Smart.
So the glasses and the tie and all that stuff, all the props are from Leslie for sure.
Nice.
That was a lot of props. I was wondering why you had so many little glasses on sticks readily available in your house.
We bought them off for a friend of ours engagement party that we threw, and had like a photo booth, and Leslie kept them afterwards. You could get them on Amazon. I don't know if you can anymore, but
probably not.
It's a fun party thing.
Yeah.
You could only buy rice and beans on Amazon now. So
exactly.
If that, man.
Well, no, I'm gonna say though, Matt, seriously, man, your video though, you guys had such energy in there that felt, like you guys were really enjoying the entire project. Like you said, like you guys, like, so you turned it up. It was like, hey, let's just go at it and have a ball.
Hey man, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it, right?
I love it. That's right. That's exactly right. Why not?
I'll give you a little bit of this.
I'm telling you.
Oh my god,
Genius. This is the thing. I'm gonna be honest. Okay, let me say this. When I saw the video and I'm looking at this thing, because here's the thing. Let me go and bust this out real quick. So Matt sends his, and I'm like, let me check out Matt. Let me see what he's talking about. And I'm looking at it. First, I get all the props. I'm like, okay, this is cool. It's clever. And then he starts doing the dance. I'm like, I've seen this kind of style and I love it. So I was already excited about it. So I'm telling my wife, I was like, yo, look at how Matt is dancing. I said, I don't know who does this.
the white guy
Matt
dance
is
style.
doing is just freaking dope. So, she's laughing. She's like, yeah, I don't get it. And I'm like, I get it. And I loved it. So sorry, she might not have loved it, Matt.
Look,
I
the
loved
props only last so long, right? And the track that they chose for us is very long. You don't realize it because it cuts to other people if you watch it.
It's so
we
long.
all danced for like 5 minutes. So
Yes.
there comes a point, if I post my own video, you'll see there's about 3 seconds where I'm like, oh my God, I still have to keep dancing. I'm out of ideas, right? I've already done this, the other 3 dance moves I have. So
I think it was awesome. I mean, I really do, man. I think with that, and like I said, everybody has something. They had a different flavor to it because even with Salem and all the different outfits and the different looks and the different, I mean, she gave you themes. What's the, I don't know if you guys saw, did you ever see, what's the show, man? It came on net. No. It was, Pray Tell. Oh, it was, Pose. Did you ever see Pose?
Yeah.
Pose. Great show.
On
But
FX.
you gave, what did they say? You're giving us, they had a saying they would say, you're giving us something like you're giving us
Ridiculousness.
life. No, it was like life. Like you had these different scenes. You had like straight up like scenarios. You know what I mean? It was like wow. You're like, okay, this is a whole movie I'm about to give you guys. So I loved it. I mean,
my poor husband, he was like resetting the sets, and I would run upstairs, take the wig off, change the wig, put whatever next outfit, run down, and be like, okay, are you ready to go?
Wow.
I loved it. And then my guy Jay.
Name? Oh, you got me on the name. Look at that. What's Jay Maddie?
There you go. Yep. J. Maddie May.
We were wondering how long it would take you to figure
I was like,
that out.
oh, okay. Got it.
Took you a long time to see that.
But I'm gonna tell you, Jay, and then because Jay, look, when
It was
Jay
right,
said
right at first, and then I was like, wait a minute, where the hell did J Maddie May?
You had to complain about it,
J.
so
Maddie
there you
May.
go.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Just a little
J.
term of
Maddie
affection from us.
Yeah,
to you.
why not?
Yeah, we
You got
love
the
you.
flower behind your hair. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
love
so J. Maddie May it is.
Joke's on you, Jack.
But I'm serious though, man. Look, when Jason is joining, I sat back and I watched and I was like, oh, I can use all of this. So the hardest part was because did y'all see Jay's?
Yeah.
Did you see how he had
so
his?
I don't know if
good.
I watched
You
the
gotta say
whole
he
thing.
showed
I'll
his
have to go back
sister.
to it.
He showed his. Sister. You show. See, that's how I'm telling you, man. You look the same age as your damn daughter. Seriously, Jay does not age. Let me tell you, Jay might be half vampire. You gotta be, man.
It's the whiskey.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what it is?
It's a
Yeah.
But I mean,
preservative.
you guys got to see it, man, because Jay actually shows his daughter. And the thing about it is really cool. She's dancing to the track, and then she puts on the Uncle Nearest stuff. But like I was telling Jay, it's hard to show that in like 2-3 seconds.
Yeah.
So if you see the whole, are you guys gonna post the video? Are you gonna post the video, Jay?
Oh, yeah.
You should post yours, yeah.
Yeah, you got
to. Because there's 2 different videos, but if I can get it together and kind of make it like it's one, or even just put both of them on there. But yeah, I definitely want to put.
I know a good editor. He happens to be on the call. If you need a little technical help.
Look, honestly though, I would love to put it together, Jay. Seriously, I really would, bro.
I will say,
Because-
Max spent all week putting that together.
I know, right?
It's a lot of work.
No, it's all good, man. I mean, the only reason though is people would send
Amazing.
stuff in. People still sending things in that day.
That's
Like
that's
literally.
crazy.
The day that we put that up, people were still sending stuff in. So
And I'm sorry, but they didn't have to build sets like I did, so that was not necessary to wait that long.
bingo. You had. I'm telling you, you gave.
I'm
you gave
totally
a little bit of
kidding.
That's all you need, guys.
That's it.
Do it.
That's it. Hey, that was my trucking
Then you
move.
can go the other
Yeah,
way.
absolutely. I'm about to say
Trucking.
Jay did. Oh, keep on
yeah.
trucking.
But there wasn't a. It's the overbite. That's the
I got
rhythm.
a bite, huh?
Yep.
No, see,
Yes,
But
that's
see,
the
Matt,
face.
I don't know, man. I wish, man. Look, I
You
got
like
to
your
feel
impatient.
shit.
Feel it.
I loved it.
That happens when you
Oh my
become a
God,
dad.
you
I don't remember
guys.
doing this back in my 20s. I don't
No,
remember
no, that
doing
is not
But
a
with
move to do in
trucking,
your
I mean, what
20s.
else are you gonna do with trucking? That's how. But that was a trucking move. It was the song. that
It
made
is
you
a
wanna
kind
do
of a
that.
trucking move.
Yeah, it's a
that's true.
trucking move.
Appreciate that, Max.
You know what I'm saying? What else you gonna do? You ain't gonna do like the whop or nothing. You know what I'm saying? I love it, baby.
what the truck is going on here?
Well,
Yeah.
the video is amazing. It's out there. It's hashtag Motown with me. The cool thing about this is, so you can actually, you can make your own video and use your favorite Motown song and post your video and tag 5 friends and tag us. And if you do that, you can win a trip for 2 days to our beautiful distillery in Tennessee. All expenses
What?
paid. Like,
Wow.
holy moly. Yes.
That's kind of cool. I mean,
gotta be good, though.
It's pretty
You
cool.
gotta
It's
be a
got to be
good
really
dancer.
good.
It's got to be good. It's got to be good. So you guys got to be creative. So think about how to be creative. And I think that's why it's cool if we all post our individual videos too, so that people can see the links that some of us went to.
Well, I got you know what, Sailor. With that said, outside of the scenes that we're talking about, whose scene did you like the most? Even though it's like seconds, I'm just curious.
Well, when
know,
you
from
put it
us.
together, it changed. Like when Harps comes out of the closet.
Wow.
I
Wow.
I love it, man.
He did it. He did it. So I can say
He
it.
did. Harps came out the
Wow.
closet, came out slow
He came
too.
out of the closet. That what
Matt,
the
you saw it?
where
Yeah.
where you put the song, like at that was a moment that was unbelievable.
was.
That
It
had
was.
me. I think I screamed when that happened. That was
hilarious.
that was
hilarious.
Damien Shine.
Mm-hmm.
I think everybody
Oh.
agrees he just killed the whole thing. He
did.
wins the whole thing.
Silver
He-
Fox in his office with the Rolodex.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Excuse me, sir. That would be 2 Rolodexes.
Does he really have 2 Rolodexes in that scene?
Oh, yeah.
It's 2.
Dude,
It's
Probably
two
one
on his
for
desk.
personal and one for
Down,
business,
man.
guys. I mean,
For
come
sure.
Yeah.
Or he just has that many contacts
I
because
love
he's
it.
an international man of business.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, he is.
Can I ask you, Mac, who is standing outside their house hitting the high notes? Do you know who I'm talking about? I couldn't figure out who it was.
With the dancers in the background?
Yes.
Yes, who was that?
Oh, I think that was Tammy
Tammy.
Lee.
That was
Tammy Lee.
Oh.
Yeah, because Tammy Lee is on the far left.
Uh-huh.
Oh, so who's
So-
the guy in the?
Who's
Is
singing?
that her husband?
That's her husband, probably.
Yeah, that must be her husband with the
Oh, my-
do-rag on.
He lip synced to the.
That
Oh,
was
Yeah.
and then
Fresh
they're
fur
doing
coat on, too.
the 3 of them are in the back doing the coordinated dance.
Dude,
That
yeah.
was
Right.
that was
Yeah, at
That
first
to me,
I
I
was-
was like, who is that?
Yeah, like, hold on.
That was wild.
Sorry.
I like the part when she came out of when she was coming out and she came out in the daggone evening gown and it had the
Yeah.
dog come out of the closet, dude. I was like, oh wow.
yeah.
That was like, dude.
In the real video?
That was
No.
funny.
No, not in the real video.
Oh, in her
video.
video.
Her video.
Herbert, yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
See, I can't remember everybody's. I hate to say it, man. It's like I watched that final video 80 times.
Oh,
so that's all I can remember. Yeah,
Right.
I know how that is.
that is.
Oh, and we
crazy.
should say too what our brand's personal connection is to Motown, right?
Yeah,
So
that's really
Yeah.
important, actually.
Oh, good
Yeah,
one.
Cool
so-
piece.
Fawn's dad was a legendary Motown record producer.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
most, if not all, of the songs that were featured in our video were produced by him. Is that right?
He has a
Written-
connection to all of them, correct? Every single song.
Written and produced, I believe.
Written and
I think
produced,
he.
yeah.
I did. I think he actually
Oh, he
wrote
wrote
and
them
produced
too?
"Keep on Trucking."
He did. He
Yeah.
wrote.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I remember
his
that.
song, and it also Fawn always says that it's his favorite. That was his favorite song too.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
So,
Okay.
Was
yeah,
that Curtis Mayfield?
I
Or
don't.
"Keep on Trucking"? I don't know.
I don't remember who made it famous.
I gotta look that
I'll look it up.
Fawn's
Well,
dad,
I-
his name was I know Mr. Wilson, right?
Yeah, Frank Wilson. Frank Wilson.
Frank Wilson. Yeah. Yeah,
But
yeah.
here's what's crazy, right? Those are classic songs. So if
Yeah.
you either wrote or produced that,
Right.
dude.
You're doing
He-
fine.
Please,
Yeah.
he is Motown royalty, and it just
Yeah, oh, yeah.
explains even more about Fawn and her origins.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
just-
honestly,
her
yeah.
story is so amazing.
She comes from good.
Eddie-
From Motown
Eddie
talent.
Kendricks.
Oh, okay. I thought that was Mayfield. It sounded like Mayfield, but I guess Mayfield might not even be Motown. Now this was tripping me out. I'm realizing everybody. I got a video to show you. I just thought about it. I did a video, but he's not Motown. It didn't hit me till later. Did y'all know Al Green is not Motown?
What?
Yes, I think I
Jay, you
did.
knew that?
What?
Man, I know Al Green, bro. I
I didn't know that.
Al Green was not Motown, yeah.
But Jay, you telling me you would if you said somebody said Al Green, you would think, oh, that's got to be Motown.
He has to be.
And he's not.
Well, yeah, like on the
out.
surface, yeah. But the fact that I played a lot of Al Green, like that's crazy for me. But yeah, I played a lot of Al Green, and I used to look through not album, but the CD that I had, and I mean, I knew that he wasn't.
We're not that old, guys. Come on.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Okay.
We're dads, but we're not
my
like
age, but
we're not dads.
33, 45. I know all that stuff.
But I'm saying though,
gramophone.
Well, I did Simply Beautiful. I did Simply Beautiful by Al Green.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna share. I'm still gonna share it, man. Forget. I'm just gonna still put #Motown.
Let it loose.
Yeah, why not?
But this is something I wanted to share for you guys.
Oh my God.
Stop it. Oh.
Wow.
Wait a minute. Wait, Matt, take that a little closer. That's you?
That's me, my
That's the
wife,
bunny.
and my dog. And
Stop it.
everybody.
That's
Nice tie, by the way. Great tie.
yeah.
Thanks. So I will say the first time we went, I felt super sad because I was like, they hired some out-of-work actor to be the Easter Bunny. And I just was like, I can't get my picture. It's so sad.
Oh no.
But I found out it was one of the guys from the store, and he loves doing it. So it was great.
Oh,
Matt, I'm gonna tell you, man, I feel really bad because I am the oh man, we grew up in a certain way. So our dog, I'm trying to think about the best way to put it. So I'm like that very much Southern, country boy when it comes to dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Like we grew up and we want to get like the most vicious dog and he can never come in the house.
Oh no.
Like that's how we were,
King.
Mm-hmm.
The dog's name was King, and you left him out in the backyard.
Bingo.
The dog never came in the
But
house.
let me tell you, our dog's name was Duke. And Duke was a German Shepherd.
They
Smart.
always are. Duke.
Yeah,
I've
German
known
Shepherd.
so many
Yeah.
Duke German Shepherds.
Dude,
Back at that
John
time,
Wayne fan? Is that a John
My
Wayne
dad
reference?
was. My dad was a huge John Wayne fan. So there you go. Look at you.
Mhm.
So,
Could have
yeah.
been Duke Ellington.
It could
No,
have.
definitely not. Not with my dad. No.
Okay.
Listen,
Yeah, my dad was John Wayne to the bone.
Your
but I'm
dad's,
gonna tell
you
you,
know, dads.
my wife's family has a dog named Duke, and it's named after John Wayne. So
Gotcha.
yeah,
Just
no,
saying.
absolutely. No,
These
my
are the
dad
things
was
I
all
don't
about
know.
westerns and
there's
all about
also
that
one
kind of
named
stuff.
Hondo. Also
Hondo,
John Wayne.
okay.
Mhm.
See, there you go.
Most of the
People-
dogs have some connection to John Wayne.
I'm telling you, man. Look, my dad. So any dog that we had, and this is funny because now you see everybody now with the pits, but it's like at that time, if you had a German Shepherd, then it was
German
like a
Mhm.
what was it? What was it?
Doberman?
Pinscher?
Doberman
Labra-
Pinscher.
Labradoodle?
No.
No.
No, not
No.
Labradoodle. No. And then it was a Doberman Pinscher. Then it was the
Rottweilers.
Rottweilers.
Then it was the
Rottweilers came
pit
in.
bull. Yeah, every dog has been
So
villainized.
crazy.
Dog breed has been the villain breed, you know. and-
villain
Jack
breed.
Russell
Yes.
Terrier.
and they
Yeah,
are
those,
actually those
especially
are
in
the
LA.
real villains. I had a Jack
Yeah,
Russell for
yeah.
14 years, and he would. I mean, I would rather put my face in a pit bull's face than the Jack Russell.
They're very
Well, I'm gonna
smart.
tell you, if you grew up where I was in North Carolina and had a Jack Russell, they would look at you like, man, come on, like why? Just get a
No,
cat.
no,
You would
That's
get
what they
your
would
butt
say.
whooped, and the dog would get his butt whooped. Everybody.
I
would
mean,
get their butt
yeah, they would, dude. It was rough, man. I'll be honest. Like the Southern, that's why it's so cool when you see people like live in different areas because it's like the mindset, the East Coast mindset for one, is just so hard, man. It just always has been. Like every time me and my
Yes.
wife go to the West Coast, even the rough people and stuff, you kind of like, man, they seem kind of nice though. At least they probably button their shirts up to the
They're
top. At least they
hiding
dress
it.
nice.
It's
Come on.
hidden. Us East
come on the
Coasters,
East.
we just have it out. We're just like, yeah, what?
Yeah,
Raw.
I mean, but it's like
I just want to give you flour. Yeah, what?
So, let's be clear. I didn't have a tiny dog growing up, but
Nice.
when you live in New York City and you like my apartment, our last apartment in New York was 450 square feet.
Ooh, nice.
You have
Okay.
to have a
That's
dog
how-
to fit the apartment.
Yeah, and I was like, we
That's
can get
true.
a dog. And then we were moving to LA, and we had more square footage, but still smaller place.
Yeah.
And
LA,
I
yeah.
had promised my wife if we ever moved to LA, we could get a dog, and not realizing, of course, that she's going to remember that. Of course she is.
Yeah, of
We
course.
had-
We
had a
never
dog-
forget.
We had a dog within a week of moving to Los
Oh
Angeles.
my gosh.
But
Welcome
again,
to being a wife.
if you live in an apartment, you can't have a Great Dane. I would
Wait.
see dogs in New York, and I'd be like, "Where are you living? Like, you're the
Oh.
biggest
Seriously,
dog. You're
seriously.
bigger than I am." Yeah.
Wait, so Matt, do you guys have a dog right now?
Yeah, it's the dog in the picture.
Oh,
man.
that's same dog.
I
Okay.
didn't go to the pet store by myself.
Okay, wait, Matt. Okay, look. Now I said all that to say, right? Okay. Now here's the thing. Here's
That's
the thing,
Ruby.
though. What's the dog's name?
Ruby.
Ruby.
Named after my great aunt.
I'm gonna kind of piggyback off of what I said earlier because I kind of painted a wrong picture.
You have a Chihuahua now?
Well, not a Chihuahua. So I don't even know what you call the damn dog. What kind of dog it is?
A what?
We had a dog. No,
Golden
it was
Doodle?
a very beautiful. What do you call them? These are like the cutest dogs. Like 10 years ago, they were a big thing. I can't
Every
remember.
dog
Really
is
small.
the cutest dog ever.
Yeah,
Pugs?
y'all are dog people.
Pug?
What? No, they're cute. They're like long hair, gray and brown.
What the hell? I don't
Oh,
know.
his name was
I
Ozzy
don't know what that is.
because we watched
No
Ozzy
idea.
Osbourne back then, which was crazy. Hey, babe,
Uh-oh.
what kind of dog was Ozzy?
You're gonna wake the baby.
Yorkshire
It's all
Terrier.
over. Yorkshire. Oh, those are
Yep.
adorable.
I never would have got that one.
I know. Hey. So we had
Okay.
one, but look, Matt, the reason why I'm saying this is because our Yorkshire Terrier absolutely went berserk over us having our daughter. So he was like, he wasn't having it.
Oh
he
no!
went back with Whiskey Dads.
Jealous.
So me being a good whiskey dad, I was like, look, two things are going either one or two things are gonna happen. Baby or the dog. Guess what it's gonna be.
So
So
you get rid of the dog?
no, we actually had the dog
Okay.
adopted by my sister-in-law, so she kept him.
Oh, you did.
Oh, okay.
Dog,
Yeah,
Okay.
so she kept him. Well, we gave him away, but yeah, I mean, we didn't take him away, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, yeah, she came and took him, and you know,
They
she gave him a
didn't do
nice
it
home.
the Southern way.
Yeah, we did the southern way, but like, yeah, there's only one way you can go
Like,
out.
put him in the horse trap?
Sorry,
Throw the dog
Oh,
out.
no.
I'm just saying that's how they do it.
Dog out. That's crazy.
I'm
No,
not getting a gun, Mac.
No, I know.
Baseball bat is
Oh,
it.
even better.
Oh
But
God,
no,
let's not go down this road. This is a bad Easter Bunny road to go
Oh,
down.
I'm sorry, man, but it's
I
just
just
it's a
thought about
cultural
that.
thing.
We talked about brunch. We haven't even talked or said anything about like a Easter story from us being dads. We haven't said anything about that. We've just been sitting here
All
talking
right,
about
yeah,
brunch,
you're right, Jay. Let's get on it. Let's get on it.
parts. What else have we talked about? Bad
Hey.
whiskey jokes or dad jokes. I don't know what else.
All right,
Sounds
let's
like dad
turn-
stuff.
Let's turn it around and let's
Please.
turn this around. Let's hear your stories about I am not a parent, but I am very heavily involved in my sister's children's lives, and I know that when I remember the moment when she had her first son, Christmas was something totally different. I feel like you go from Christmas as a kid and it's like this whole experience, and then as an adult you're like meh, you know, and then if you have children or you have, you know, nieces, nephews, small children in your life, you see it from a totally different perspective and you kind of understand the excitement of so last year they were at my house because sadly we lost my brother-in-law last year. So they spent the couple of nights. And so I got to experience that. My sister and I, like, getting everything ready. They're bigger now, but it's still exciting. And then, you know, them getting up in the morning and the teenagers, we had to wake the tween and the teenager up and be like, aren't you excited about this? Come on. I think we were more excited than they were. So what is that experience like when you guys were new dads to have Easter? And be the ones that have to plan it and make it cool and fun.
I can say again, like I defer, like Matt, I defer everything is, you know, my wife. Like, you know, I just go along and like great, but she plans it. I mean, it's elaborate. Like she started having like the Easter eggs for the kids. We did Easter egg hunts in the yard and all that type of stuff. I'm like, okay, sure, that sounds great. It was, I mean, but we go pretty hard for Easter. You know, the Easter Bunny rocks out in my crib. You know, we get up and of course, you know, go to church and say thank you, Jesus, and then we come back at the house and, you know, kind of enjoy springtime, sunshine out, Easter egg hunt. The kids have a big old egg and they have like little gifts and toys and stuff like that inside the egg. So I mean, it's been a different experience because it wasn't necessarily as much like that when I was a kid. For me, I remember kid more so. We would go to church and there was always an Easter program. And so I remember the Easter program and Sunday school and always, you know, you got the Easter suit. I mean, you know, Pops was, you know, we would be decked out. And my grandmother every Easter had something for me and my sister to wear. So sometimes it would be like, oh, hell. And then other times it'd be like, okay, this is not bad, Grandma. But I remember Easter program was real huge at church. You know, you had to be decked out in your suit and do the Easter program. And I remember one in particular was that we redid a song and we redid it as a rap, and we used Run DMC. It was hilarious, man. So I remember, I remember me and my boy Akiva were redid the rap with my dad, and I mean, it was so good that we did it during Sunday school Easter program. It was so good that the pastor was like, "Hey, y'all got to do that during service." So we redid it during service. It was hilarious, man. So I always remember that. So that's been a great memory for me. But then also too with the kids right now, how Easter's cool, and we got Easter egg hunts and running around and just seeing them smiling happy and going crazy and bubbles and freaking eggs everywhere.
My God, Jay.
Freaking eggs.
Freaking eggs.
Freaking eggs everywhere.
Which make you fart, by the way.
Oh,
here we go. Nope, moving on. Oh my God.
That's so real.
Guys.
Yeah. What you got, man?
This is Jenny's first Easter, and since we're in quarantine, I don't really got a whole lot.
Yeah.
She's also really tiny too.
She's also tiny, so she's
she's tiny.
she's 7 months.
So Easter egg hunt in the crib, like in her crib. Like
in the crib.
We did get an Easter basket before this all happened, so she has an empty Easter basket.
Nice. She won't know.
Well, but the thing is too, like, I don't know what you guys did. We haven't given her any candy or sugar or anything yet.
Right, we didn't.
So you kind of wait till they're about 1. So that basket is full of chocolate and like Peeps, right? Marshmallows.
Yeah. Peeps,
so I don't know exactly.
So next year is going to be really fun though, because she'll be walking around and she'll be able to like toddle around and try to hold her own basket and all that good stuff.
Jay, she does have an outfit that grandmother sent a couple months ago.
Nice.
So she'll get dressed up in that, I'm sure, and we'll go to church on Zoom, which is what we do.
Nice,
right now.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah. But yeah, my favorite Easter story actually as a kid, we were at my grandparents' one year, and my grandfather hid the Easter baskets, and he must have been the last person to leave before church, hid them, and then we all got in the car and went. And no, I'm sorry, it was the Easter Bunny. I'm sorry.
Who do you think is watching? Jeez, you're gonna ruin it for them.
Speaking of which, I don't know if you guys saw, the Prime Minister of New Zealand had a short press conference where she said that the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny were essential workers.
I did see that. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
There you go, Matt.
But we got back from Easter service, and my sisters found their baskets, which were hidden in the house. I don't know if everybody does that, but mine was behind the armchair in the living room, and Michigan is still relatively cold around Easter, and it was placed directly on top of the heat vent. So my chocolate Easter Bunny was like,
oh no.
And I didn't get a new one. They were just like, we'll put it in the freezer.
Wait, he didn't get resurrected?
He got like Han Solo frozen and then popped back
Quasimodo.
Yeah, but he was the Easter Bunny was like,
gee, that's
I love
terrible.
it, man.
So I know not to do that as a dad.
Good man.
Yeah.
Good tip. Everyone write that down.
Yeah.
Don't put the chocolate
We're here to help
on the heater. No, I'm saying I love my grandfather, but it's a bad choice.
What about you?
When I think about Easter, man, the biggest thing I think, well, for one, what we got planned this year is pretty much what Jay said. We're doing the Easter egg hunt around the house. But of course, my wife, she planned that out. I don't think I did anything for that. So she's gonna do all that, and just great.
All you do is
Guys, you're making us look bad.
I know. It's really bad, man. But she was like, she went and got all the, went to Amazon, ordered all the eggs and everything, and got it all done. Got the basket. I mean, she did this like a month before. And
because that's
good for her.
That's what we do.
Yeah,
actually, I shouldn't say we. The reason I didn't have children is because I would be a great dad, but not a great mom. So it's truth, because you guys are like, my wife. Yes, honey, I'll go to work and you just do all of that, and I'll sit in my armchair with a drink and congratulate you and tell the kids fart jokes.
Nice. There you go. Yeah.
That's why I'm the best auntie. Oh God.
You realize every time you bring that up, I have to do it now.
You got to.
So, all right, before we wrap up, because we do need to wrap up.
Oh, yeah.
So I just want to ask you guys, so some of you have older kids and some very small kids, and there's a specific reason
Some have both.
why, and some have both. Yes, sorry. There's a specific reason why I'm asking this. I want to know what your kids think you do. Those who have older kids, that are of speaking age at least. What would they say? And Matt, for you, what do you think your daughter is going to say? Yes, and I have there's two reasons I asked, because one, I remember going and visiting. There is a famous brewery in upstate New York, and I would split my summers with my dad's side of the family, and they all were Genesee Ale, cream ale. You have to be from upstate to know this beer. And we went and toured the brewery on the way to the lake house. And so, apparently I was very small. They asked me what I did. What did you do for summer when you went back to school? And I said, oh, we went to the beer factory, and my grandpa and my dad everybody drank a lot of beer. And that was the memory of my summer. Mind you, I had been to like 5, I had been to Ocean City, Maryland. We had been to Cape Cod. But no, it was the beer factory. That's what stuck with it. And then my nephew would say when he was younger, that I drank whiskey for a living.
There you go.
That's what he told people.
Nice.
Alcohol whiskey. Sorry. My aunt drinks alcohol whiskey for a living.
Alcohol whiskey.
Yes.
At least he was precise about it.
I have to tell you guys, the non-alcoholic whiskey is real bad.
Yeah,
it's not good.
Bites. It's got a bite to it.
So what about you guys? Jay, you want to kick it off?
Well, see, my oldest is 25, so she's completely knowledgeable about what dad is doing, and is on board. I mean, she sent me a text today like, "Dad, you're famous." I'm like, "Dude, I'm not."
I love it.
Whiskey and having a good time, enjoying myself and walking in this beautiful gift that I've been given. The other kids, I mean, my son is 10 and my daughter's 6, and so I've actually taken them up to the distillery. So they've met Fawn, they met Victoria, met Sherry, met Isaiah and Olivia. So I mean, they know the folks up at the distillery, and they know, like, they've seen me talk and tell the story and all that good stuff. So I mean, they know Uncle Nearest, and they know that what Daddy has done. I mean, they see me. I've done like a few events where I was at a table and where we were like on spring break or something like that. And they saw me set up and everything. So I mean, this is a family affair. My wife is extremely helpful with helping me set up and giving me creative ideas to help me out with doing some stuff. So it's an operation here, and I mean, so I don't think they're. Sometimes it's just like, oh, Dad's doing Uncle Nearest again. Like right now, it's really cramping their style because I'm in the living room next to the kitchen, and they probably want to, they just came in from outside. That's why you saw me keep looking out this way. They came back in, but they're ready to eat and make some noise and watch TV as you hear my son come down the stairs. But I mean, I think we like Uncle Nearest, right, everybody?
If you ask them what your job title is, though, what's your
Very
job?
enthusiastic.
What do you think they say?
I don't know. My dad works for Uncle Nearest. Yeah. Ethan, what is Daddy's job title? What do I do? Oh yeah, he knows. I'm a brand ambassador.
Well, wow, my goodness, good job.
And yeah, so I'm a brand ambassador for Uncle Nearest and a bartender. So yeah, the 10-year-old knows. He
Very
knows the whole
astute.
thing.
I like it.
Yeah. The guy's a scientist.
Nice.
So yeah, that's what I got. Yeah, and then and the little one just likes Daddy being on video and having a good time, and she likes the aspect of the social aspect of it. So she likes Daddy does that stuff because she is a butterfly.
I love it.
There you go.
I love it.
I think that my daughter's much like your daughter then in that sense that because mine. How old is yours, Jay?
My daughter's 6 and the boy is 10.
Yep. So okay, my daughter's 6 as well, and she sees the social aspect of it. So she's always like, first she thought I sold Uncle Nearest, and I explained, yeah, I don't really sell it. I tell the story and I get people involved and make them want to buy it. And so I think when she kind of understood that and saw, like Jay was saying, they see you do the events, they see you on these different videos and things like that, or whatever. She doesn't see me actually, and it's not that I don't hide it at all, but I don't drink a lot. You know what I mean? So when I do drink, it's probably when she's already in bed or something. But I don't normally do this day drinking thing. But anyway,
It's brunch.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, go figure. But but normally, man, so when she sees the product, she sees it as like the bottle, she sees the artwork of it, and she's like, oh, okay, this is what you carry with you. But she doesn't really probably connect necessarily that people, I mean, she knows people drink it, but it's not like a thing for her to really focus on that. She focuses, like Jay said, on the social part. So, but if she had to say what I do, she probably would say, I sold. You know, she probably would still say, I sold Uncle Marriage. Yeah.
And Matt, what would Jenny say?
She probably said, pow, 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 pow. That's her
That's
first
her
word.
language.
Really?
She says pow. Yep.
Oh,
She'll-
Pow, 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 pow. Oh, there's a bunch of Chewbacca sounds too. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean,
Which
I don't
means,
know. Oh,
which translates to,
my father's a whiskey salesman.
the chemical component inside glycol alcohol is.
no, nice. Good God.
I would say, I can't say what I know what she will say, but I can say what I hope she says.
Nice.
I think specifically this brand and the brand we work for honors the legacy of someone who is whose story was left behind by history. And so I would love for her to say that I'm a storyteller that shares a story that needs to be told. And then in terms of the whiskey aspect, you know, I really enjoyed teaching people about whiskey and helping them to learn without feeling condescended to. I know whiskey can feel very intimidating. So I like to be able to bring people in at sort of all levels of knowledge and tell them that it's not a status drink, that it's not something to be intimidated by, to drink your whiskey the way you enjoy drinking it. And if you want to know a little bit more about it, I'm around to let you know. So I hope that's where we end up, but it could be Dad sells whiskey, which
There
is,
you go.
which is fine.
But what a cool thought, you guys, that think about in 10 years from now, there's going to be all these children across the country who are kind of second generation in a way. You know what I mean? Like, how cool is that going to be that they're going to have this experience of, you know, oh, yeah, my dad was like, the first generation of employees, that's a cool thought. I think that's really, that's something really interesting. I mean, especially in terms of like someone like Isaiah. So, and we're going to interview him for All Things Nearest, Jay and Nick Griffith and I, and talk to him about his journey, because he's a younger fellow. And so I think that's going to be really, really cool just for the kids to talk about, even when they are parents, their experiences. Because, I've met people that, are second generation workers at, Old Forest, Brown Forman, or Jack Daniels, or whatever, even, Budweiser things. I knew a guy who was like third generation, did pretty much the same job as his dad and grandfather did. And they have these very unique stories. And it's very interesting when you see different generations stay in the company. There must be something there. And I think it always goes back to the pride of the person who had the job first. And that's the experience that's how they related their experience to their kid, right? That's why their kid would want to go work there too. And then they relayed that experience to their kid. And sadly, we've lost that so much in this country. And I mean, what we called blue collar workers, it would be, I'm a cop, my dad's a cop, my grandfather was a cop, or I'm an electrician, my dad's an electrician. But, I hope that that's what it's like for our brand, because it's very much in the industry like that, more in the operations level. But I think that could definitely be the case in our brand because it's so unique what we do. I can easily see our children wanting to do what we do. Definitely.
A big shout out to my Obi-Wan Kenobi, Damian Shine. I mean, we said that. I remember that that first year we had our sales meeting. It's like, we're literally making history. Like that first picture we took on the steps of the Dan Call farmhouse was like amazing to me. And I mean, the fact that, years from now, like when you look and see those old pictures of distilleries and you see all the guys out in front and you're like, wow, you're looking at that, like that's going to be us, like, 40, 50 years from now, 60 years from now. I'm like, well, man, that's pretty daggone cool.
Yeah, like the picture of
yeah.
Uncle Nearest son with
Yeah.
Jack sitting next to Jack Daniels.
Right. So I mean that's essentially us sitting on those steps when we take that picture. Is like, we're a very, very young company, and already being at the place and space that we're in right now is like phenomenal. And just seeing and thinking of where we'll be 40 or 50 years from now, Uncle Nearest folks is just gonna be like, our think about our kids, our grandkids talking about, hey, looking at the pictures up on a wall in a museum, be like, hey, that's my granddad right there.
Yes.
You're like, oh,
Yeah,
crap.
that's really interesting. Real quick about that one. Jay got me thinking about that, because the funny thing about it is, even though we do so many things in our life that don't, that aren't connected to Uncle Nearest, you can't really disconnect from it.
Mm-hmm.
Like no matter what, wherever I am, or no matter what I'm doing, there's times I'm out working other things, and they're still connecting me back to Uncle Nearest. Like whether they say, hell yeah, man, you guys are, how's Uncle Nearest doing? Or, do you have it at this particular location yet? And it's like, oh man, we're here talking about something completely different. But yeah, like it becomes a part of your life. It's so strange that that's really become that kind of thing. But you're right, because like Jay was saying, being that we were some of the first people to be a part of that, it's like you really have invested a certain part of, or a certain aspect of your life into this company already.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's very awesome.
Also, the fact that you guys have daughters, your daughters have an opportunity, if they choose, to not have to experience most of the things, or even some of the things that my generation had to experience and the generation underneath me, to be able to, and let's hope there's so many more companies offering the type of community and culture that's being created by our brand, by the women in our brand, to go into a place of equality, just as being women, and then also diversity. I mean, imagine that could be their experience, and how incredible for them to have that it's going to be on such a broader scale too. That's also makes me really excited. I think about the young girls, and I think about this a lot because of the time I came into whiskey. I was one of very, very few women, and didn't, I've talked about this a lot, didn't have a lot of people to look up to at the time that, you could really have knowledge about. And that's to me really cool also, that your daughters are seeing that your employer is this really strong, intelligent, powerful woman, that this company is being, that our four ladies, I love that picture that went out during Women's History Month, that's who's running the company. And what an amazing, just thinking about that's a wow moment for me, that your kids are going to grow up with that as their norm. That's unbelievable. Jay, you're muted.
Okay, there I am. Yeah, I'm sorry. As you're speaking, kids are coming in and out. Like again, they're back in the house. So, but yeah, that was really in that, being that taking my kids up to the distillery was real cool for me. I mean, for my son, for him to be up there, to know about Uncle Nearest, to be at the age that he is, and be so knowledgeable and able to catch and see some of the things that are going on, and know about the history of Uncle Nearest. That was good, and I appreciated him being able to see that. The other part is then my daughter is there, and she's literally running next to Fawn while we're doing the tour, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. Like, the same type of thing as being a little black girl. When you saw Obama in the White House, and you look and you see Michelle Obama, like the type of pride and the way you look up and you see something that's in a shining example right there in front of your freaking face, and you're like, wow, I can do that. I mean, so to have her run around Nearest Green Distillery with Fawn doing a tour, and my daughter's right next to her, telling people, okay, come through the door. It was surreal. I mean, so it's really a good thing, like history wise, for both of my children, for all of my children. And then my oldest daughter, you know, she's up there towards Mac, up there in Maryland. I mean, but just to have her tell me like how proud she is of me doing what I'm doing with the company, but also too with her being extremely proud for her to say and talk about, you know, my dad works with Uncle Nearest, you know, and people are like, wow, your dad's with Uncle Nearest, you know, and that's a sense of pride that she has. And so she's, you know, the whole entire family's like.
Let me ask you a question, Jay. I just came to mind as you're saying this, that you took your kids to the distillery. And I wonder if, so when you were a kid, if you went to historical places, and let's say it was even a historical place where it was a celebration of, not a celebration, that's the wrong word. Celebrating the story, the unknown, you know, reviving the story of like maybe a plantation or a slave story or a historical Black figure in history, but it's not a current story. It's not a revived story. Do you know what I'm saying? What a difference for them. I'm not articulating myself correctly, but it's not that you're going to this place where, okay, maybe I say it, okay, like you could have taken them to the Dan Call farm and Fawn could have merely been like, oh, I'm the person that turned this into a museum and found out about the story and that's the story, okay. But no. The legacy is now. It's continuing. His name is on you know, it's not just, this was the story, you should know it, it's important to have the information. How different for your kids than for you, right?
Right.
That's what I was thinking about as you're saying that.
Yeah. It's being that, you know, from learning, and that was the other thing too. Like I took my dad with us too. I took the whole entire family. My dad happened to be in town and we drove up and took a day trip. So that was cool for me to be right there in the middle with two different generations, you know, looking at my pop and seeing the pride he had with growing up and when he grew up and being able to look and see the story of Nearest Green and be there with the CEO and her husband, with the co-founders right there to meet Victoria, Nearest Green's great-great-granddaughter, hang out with Sherry, who's our director of whiskey operations. That was cool. And for him to turn to me, he's like you, son, you need to stick with this no matter what. Like this is really good. To get that validation from him. And then on top of that, to look and see my kids and see how, you know, they're like, oh, Dad, Uncle Nearest. But then to see them running around with so much joy and having a great time. And now, like, it was totally different on the drive back. Like, now they're like, okay, Uncle Nearest is cool. Like,
right.
Like, we're bought in. So, I mean, on both sides, it's kind of a great place to be in and always been a source of pride for me. I mean, especially being a young Black man, you know, growing up and stuff like that. I mean, it's great to see the story and then to see how things are being done with such excellence. It's really, it gravitates, it makes you gravitate toward it and take a hold of it and just be so happy and proud of it. You know, it really does. I mean, and just to be able to share that with two different generations is awesome for me.
That's so cool.
I'm blessed from that standpoint.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I guess
sorry for talking your ear off.
I'm gonna get out of here because I think I've crashed your party long enough.
Thanks for joining us, Taylor. Yeah.
Thanks for letting me crash it today, guys.
Man, we had one heck of an episode. This might have to go into like three different podcasts.
I know, right? We started off with fart jokes and we ended with some beautiful family stories. I love it.
Oh yeah.
Nice. That's the real, right?
And we're always supposed to let's finish off saying drink honorably, even though my drink is darn near done at this point in time.
Yes, always hashtag drink honorably.
Drink honorably. So a toast to Uncle Nearest, a toast to Happy Easter, Resurrection Sunday, yes. Whatever it is that you celebrate, or just Happy Sunday, and hope everybody's being safe and healthy in their home. Your behinds in the house, as my kids are throwing dishes up here. Thank you, everybody, too. Yeah, this is a great episode. Great episode.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody. And you can find the Whiskey Dads every Sunday on Uncle Nearest Facebook page and the Uncle Nearest Brand Ambassador YouTube channel. See you next time, guys.
Down.